policy, it matters. Everyday Americans, they may say, oh, she feels good, whatever. But when it actually comes down to voting for the person that you want to run the country, doesn't policy sort of register a little bit? I mean, let's go out to Michigan, for example. The BBC did, and they were shocked by what they found. Listen.
Tommy, how are you feeling about the election? Who are you going to vote for and why?
I'm going to vote for Donald Trump this year. I am typically a Democrat. I've voted Democrat every year until Donald Trump ran for office. This year, in the past, I voted for Donald Trump. The reasons has been economical primarily. 3.5 years ago, I made more money. I paid less taxes. Gas prices were cheaper. Now, everything has tripled, including grocery prices. I can go to Subway to get a $7 sandwich for 6 inches now. That used to be half that price, $3. So everything is doubled. My grocery prices doubled. I'm concerned about the border. We've let millions of people in, a lot of criminals, etc. The border needs to be shut down to where we only bring in those individuals that go through a legal process. And when Democrats were running for office like they're proposing now, they have this proposal of new homeowners getting a stipend of money to buy a house. Well, nothing is free. That means that if we give out more money, my taxes are going to go up to pay for those new owners.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to live
a lot of issues
with a lot of less money every year just because they're giving it away to other people.
Okay, so a lot of issues.
Is it me, or did the BBC get a little more than they intended to get there? A lot of issues. Yeah, a lot of issues. But it comes back to the economy. The economy. Inflation, which is a good opportunity for us to remind you that you can get a really good opportunity here with American Heart for Gold. Friends of the Trish Regan show, just use my name, or go to trishlovesgold.com. You can get up to $15,000 worth of free silver with qualified offers at American Heart for Gold. TrishLovesGold.com, 1-844-495-1115. You can text my name to 65532. You can text Trish to 65532. I mean, look, he made very, very good points. And I think that these are points that everyday Americans feel. I do say that you got to think about inflation. You got to think about what your dollars are worth in the future. A big way to hedge this, right? To just make sure that your money is still there and is worth something, in my estimation anyway, and I've been right on this, is to invest in something like gold, because that is something that's going to preserve its value, in my estimation. Now, you make your own decisions, right? But you are welcome to take sort of my thoughts on it. And I like that they have up to $15,000 in free silver, which kind of works as a proxy. So just a shout out to our friends there, one of our great sponsors here on the Trish Regan Show, TrishLovesGold.com. But it wasn't just the BBC, right, that realized somehow, voters actually care about this stuff. That's Michigan. Let's go to North Carolina for a moment. I think CNN was pretty stunned when they heard what these voters had to say.
Those here, like Stanley Benedict, not fully enamored with Trump, plan to vote for him.
He's got a big ego, and sometimes it's a little too big. He's able to toot his horn a lot. But I support him because he proved himself.
Ooh, yes. And that ultimately, right, is what you want. You had 4 years of a guy. He mentioned the big ego. That's something that, of course, the mainstream media is trying to play up in a pretty big way. Morning Joe, of course, running a little bit, sort of a comedic bit from New York City last night. Donald Trump was there, and he made some comments about, how he's doing so great with the crowds, et cetera. It's actually kind of funny, but when it's played out of context, they got the chance to kind of powwow on him, and so this goes back to the ego thing that the guy was just talking about. Not that anybody cares, but take a look at it. I actually found it funny.
So I'd call up my wife, and I'd say, baby, who could draw crowds? Nobody can draw crowds like me. Nobody, not even close. I'm the greatest of all time, maybe greater even than Elvis, because Elvis had a guitar. I don't have a guitar. Elvis had a guitar. I don't have the privilege of a guitar. But I'd say, baby, who could do it like me? Nobody can do it like me. How great am I?
Okay, all right. So, the media is going to go to town on that. Oh, he's just an egomaniac. But the crowd loved it. And look, I mean, You got to have a healthy ego for the job. I am going to say that. You know, you can't be afraid of things. You can't be hiding. And he's playing to the crowd, right? So a lot of this stuff gets taken out of context. The danger here, though, is like they play that and they're not laughing at it, right? They're not like with me, like getting a kick out of it. I mean, it's an interesting point, right? He doesn't even have a guitar and he's filling these stadiums. Why is that? The reason is because people see him as almost, dare I say, a bit of a savior, right? He's willing, for goodness sakes, to take a bullet. And he's proven that now, you know, on live television, once where he was nearly killed, and then again at his own golf course. And I think people are like, wow, like he keeps coming back. Like nothing's gonna keep him down, so to speak. And that matters.